Students online, is it audible? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, you are.
Hmm. Hello. Students online, is it audible? Can you hear me?
Good morning, sir. Yes, you are audible.
Good morning.
Yes,
Good morning. Yes. Okay. Good morning. Good morning. Come over. Come on. Okay. So let's see what we did last time, and we will try to build it from there. Okay. So we had fourth day. We have the day 5. Okay. I think we started with this model last time. Okay. And let me revise in the meantime before we get started. So we did the basic assumptions of the case. We had a look at how the business was going to earn revenues, okay, by selling tickets, and then we also said that you will have expenses like fuel, maintenance, depreciation, toll, okay, all those, and you were to fund the bus, okay, the purchase or the acquisition of the asset was going to happen at 75 debt and 25 equity. So we did start with this case, right? We did we or did we not? Yeah, I think we did, right? Okay, so mine is not saved. Okay, so let me just download the file which I must have sent that day. Did I send the file? No. Completed. Till what point we had done it? I also, yeah, but I'm trying to see in the sent mail. It is not there. The one that I have here is the blank. So till what point we had solved? Can you tell me that? Students online, any? I don't know how come I changed this subjectivity, I guess. Or maybe E drive? No. We calculated, okay. You have the complete file? Yeah, can you send it to that same ID, no? So that everybody will have it. And nee, that is, no, you have to send it to this ID. FEA114 at gip.ac.in. 114 at gip.ac.in. And then you can send to the batch also, so that in case you don't have it, you will get the file. You can download the file. We will send it. I think we had completed till how much? Till PAT. I think we had done, and we had also done date schedule. I guess. Okay. So we will just have the file and then we will continue. Yeah. Yes. Students online, do you need the file? Or I'll just complete it, isn't it? Okay. Okay, so we should get the file in a minute. So I think we did that theory of financial statements last time, and then we also started with this case. It was a model for evaluating. Sorry, it will take, right? Yeah. So it was a model to evaluate whether setting a premium bus service business was viable or not. Okay, so we said that we'll start the business by buying a bus and then we will fund it using 75 debt and 25 equity. And then based on that, we will figure out whether the return of the project is more than cost of equity or not. So 25%. So is my IRR better than 25%? That is what we will try to see. Okay, so here it is. So I will forward the file to everybody. Okay, you all listen. Great. Thank you. So let's use this. Okay, so we have done debt schedule also. Good. So we have done two things. Okay, one, we have done the income statement. We have made the entire income statement. Okay, and two, we have also done the debt schedule. Okay, so today our first thing that we wanted to do was balance sheet. Okay, and we had said that okay, this is the first time you are making the balance sheet. So what we will do is we will do the entries together, okay, so that you will get an idea how to build the remaining. Okay, everybody, do we have the file now? You have the file completed here. We'll have done. Now, for completing the balance sheet, okay. Now, certain items of the balance sheet we have to think, okay, like how we did for the income statement. We thought about the sales. के इतना seats होगा, उतना price मिलेगा. Like that, some of the items like fixed assets. What fixed assets did we purchase in the business, and then how did we fund it using debt and equity? Some of those things we may have to think. Some of the items can be built using the file number 5 which was shared with you. Okay, so in the file number 5 there was this line diagram which showed that few items come to the balance sheet from the other statement, and then whenever something comes to the balance sheet, how do you enter it? So you enter it as a cumulative value. For example, depreciation comes into the balance sheet as accumulated. Last year depreciation accumulated plus depreciation in the current year. So keeping this in mind, we will start with the balance sheet, the first item being cash. Now the question is, where do we get the cash into the balance sheet from? And here is the hint. Balance sheet में cash कहाँ से आ रहा है? Cash flow ending balance. So ending balance of cash flow goes into the balance sheet as cash. So we will follow the same. In the zeroth year, we know that cash flow is being built below this. So we'll link it back to EOP balance of the cash. Whenever we complete the cash flow, automatically the numbers will get populated. And if our double entries are correct, the balance sheet will balance. So one formula you will see is already put up in checksum, which is trying to compare the asset with liability. If assets and liabilities are same, then checksum is balancing. So everybody link the cash in the balance sheet from the cash flow statement. The green error? No. No, cash EOB is blank, no, right now. Is equal to D73. And then drag it for all the years. Now it is showing dash dash. No, circular right now should not happen. It will happen in the next model. Okay, correct. So D73. So that is one. Okay. So as I said, few items in the cash flow you will get, sorry, in the balance sheet you will get from the line diagram. Okay. Then we have fixed assets gross. Now gross asset is reported at historical cost. So what all fixed assets did we have? इस बिजनेस में हमारे पास क्या क्या फिक्स्ड असेट्स है? Only bus, correct. So we will be recording the value of the bus at historical price in the balance. So 75 lakhs from cell D6 and fix it dollar sign. Okay, 75 lakhs and fix it. Then you have, and then gross assets don't change. Unless we buy another bus, then the asset probably would have increased. But the idea of balance sheet is to show the assets in gross format, which means full value or historical cost of the asset will be shown in the balance sheet. Then we have accumulated depreciation. Now the same also comes from income statement. We have already estimated depreciation. We'll take it back into the balance sheet. But how do you take number from income statement into the balance sheet? It has to be cumulative. Last year's balance plus change. So we'll put the formula in year 1 and then copy it for all the years. So year 0's accumulated depreciation plus the depreciation charge in the current year. Okay, and at the end you will see that you can copy the formula to year 0 also, and you will see if you investigate the 0-year formula, you will have C column plus D column. So C column is purposely kept blank. So this is one thing that is one of the best practices while making models. The labels are starting in either A or B column, and you start the timeline from D or E column. So that couple of columns are kept as reserve columns in between, which can help you create a consistency in formula as and when required. Therefore, net asset is gross minus accumulated depreciation. So the bus has fully depreciated to a scrap value 0 by the end of life. And total assets is fixed assets, gross, net plus cash. We have only two assets right now, net fixed assets and cash. Out of that, as my assets depreciate, fixed assets depreciate, the value will be completely driven by cash in the business. So by end of fourth year, right now the fixed assets or total assets is appearing nil, but when you complete the remaining model, you will see that cash will get computed there. Okay, done. So basis this logic, okay, you try to build the liabilities side. Some items you may get in the line diagram, some in the notes, and some you may have to think. Okay, so I'll give the total liabilities formula, which is sum of all the entries above. And what you tell me is the error balance in the last page. Green cell में आपका आंसर क्या आ रहा है after you complete those three line items. So in the next model you will make the balance sheet yourself. What is the total liabilities? Sorry, what is the error in the last? We are looking for the error. Retained earning. What should we do? Line diagram. File number 5. Do you have the file number 5? It's there in the mail. Last time's mail. No? That file is there, right? Last green में आपका क्या आंसर आ रहा है? Students online, any answers in the green cell? That is the check balance in the balance sheet. In the green, 38 lakhs you are getting? Yes, correct. 30? कुछ गड़बड़ है. 38 lakhs नहीं, कुछ गड़बड़ है. Everybody has the file where PAT for last year is 3,99,000, right? Last year का PAT मैच हो रहा है बराबर. Correct, correct. So revise number is 44. नहीं. अभी भी कुछ गड़बड़ है, कुछ गड़बड़ है. When is the balance sheet made? At the start of the year or at the end of the year? नहीं, बैलेंस शीट कब बनता है, ईयर के स्टार्ट में कि एंड में? एंड में. तो डेट कौन सा लेना चाहिए, स्टार्टिंग का कि एंडिंग का? So we will also do it on screen. Balance sheet is made at the end of the year. जैसे कि यहाँ ईयर 1 लिखा है, इसका मतलब है ईयर 1 के एंड में कितना है. सिमिलरली ईयर 0 के एंड में, बट यू नो दैट 0 ईयर इज नथिंग बट अ स्टार्टिंग पॉइंट. So do we know debt? Yes, we have already calculated debt in the debt schedule. So debt का ending balance will go back in the balance sheet because balance sheet is also getting made at the end of it. So here is the, so debt के लिए आपको सोचना नहीं पड़ता. Debt you already thought of in the debt schedule. Analysis of debt has been already thought of in the debt schedule. Correct. That's the correct number. And probably you kept debt as same 59 lakhs. Beginning date लिया आपने. हाँ. अच्छा. So year 0 से already debt has been calculated, so we'll take it as it is. Then we will have the equity, which is, so equity is the line item which you will have to think about. Okay, you don't have already a calculation of equity anywhere. Green part number is 29 lakh and something. So we will see. Then equity is how much equity did we raise? So we bought a bus at 75 lakh and we funded 25% to buy the bus. 25% came in the form of equity. And we did not raise any more equity going forward because there was no more asset addition or any equity infusion. So we'll keep equity same. Okay. And yeah, till equity are we done? Same 18 lakh 75,000 for all this. For retained profit, we go back to the line diagram. So if you look at the line diagram, retained profit is coming from PAT. And how do we make the entry? The entry has to be made cumulative. So that's why you are getting 22. So last year's balance plus change, that is amount of PAT added in the current period, minus depreciation, minus dividends, if at all there are any. But in this case, we are not assuming any dividend. Therefore, balance sheet will show error of 29 lakhs 39,000 for the last year. And once you make the double entries of the cash flow, this error also will be gone. Okay. Done. Students online, have you got the error balance as 29 lakhs?
Yes, sir.
Correct. So some items, like we said, we have to think, and some we will get a heads up in the line diagram. Few you will be able to do using the notes. Okay. So whatever comes to the balance sheet generally will come as a cumulative entry whenever it is coming from other pages. In here also, actually, if you see debt schedule also we did a cumulative. It was like opening balance plus the change, addition and minus subtraction, minus whatever is removed. So same opening closing concept will apply for all the line items of the balance sheet. Okay. So now we are done with the balance sheet. Cannot complete the cash because that's going to come from the cash flow statement. And as we said, the scheme, so we are going as per the scheme. Income statement, debt and balance sheet are all done. Now we can go ahead and build the cash flow. The goal was always to find the FCFE, the free cash flow estimate, to get the IRR. But that you cannot do without the cash flow, which you cannot do without the other. So let's do that. Now for cash flow, okay, let me give a concept how you are going to build it, and then you proceed to build it. So you will see that every item in the cash flow statement either is coming from the income statement or is coming from the balance. Already you have numbers in the balance sheet and income. So basically we are going to just make double entry. But there is a perspective difference in the cash flow and the balance sheet. Income statement line item is coming as it is. Depreciation there, depreciation here. PAT there, PAT here. But balance sheet से ऐसा नहीं हो रहा है. Current asset there, change in current asset here. Fixed asset there, change in fixed asset. Debt there, change in debt. So basically cash flow is trying to look at the difference entry. Change कितना हुआ line item. Now when I was saying how to find the change, last time we had defined the formula. If it's an asset related line item where we are trying to find the change, the formula is old minus new. Last year's asset minus current year's asset. If it's a liability related line item, the formula is new minus old. So you use these formulae and complete the cash flow. But first time we are doing it, so I'm going to give you all in between formulas. So let's put the in between subtotal numbers. Okay, starting with cash flow from operation. Let's put it for year one, then we'll copy it for all the years. So year one cash flow from operation is PAT plus depreciation. So cash flow, the good part is everything gets added. Whatever is getting subtracted, the line item will have its own negative sign associated. So PAT plus depreciation is equal to cash flow from operation. So let's put the in between formula. Okay. Then investing cash flow में एक ही item है, which is change in fixed asset gross. So you don't have to do addition of anything because just there is one item. So we will put is equal to about it. Cash flow from investing is same as above say, is equal to fixed asset gross. Then financing is change in debt plus change in equity. So you will see we are just adding all the line. Cash flow from financing is change in debt plus change in equity. Then net change in cash is cash flow from operations plus investing plus finance. Net change in cash is cash flow from operations plus investing plus finance. So we divide the business in three activities: operations, investing, and finance. And then at the end, we just sum total all the cash coming from each of the three activities. So that this will go back in your opening cash to give you closing cash. So you will see the opening closing concept making the cash flow cumulative only turns up in the last two line items. Otherwise, the cash flow is periodic. So opening is same as previous closing, and opening formula for every other statement is going to be the same. It is always going to be previous closing, and closing balance is opening plus net cash. Now, I'm giving all these formula because this is never going to change for any of the cash flow statement, whatever difficult or complicated the model is. इसका structure बदलता नहीं है. Okay. And then
So can you show the
yeah.
formulas for the cash flow statement you have used again? Like I missed.
Okay, starting from cash flow from operation. Okay, so here is the formula for cash flow from operation: PAT plus depreciation.
Okay, sir.
Then cash flow from investing is same as change in fixed asset gross. There is only one line item there. So we don't need to add anything. Just is equal to above cell.
Okay, sir.
Then change in debt is change in cash flow from financing is change in debt plus change in equity.
Yes, sir.
Then net change is cash flow from operations plus investing plus financing. Yes,
Okay, sir.
correct, correct. Then opening balance is same as previous closing. And closing is opening plus net change.
Thank you, sir.
Correct. Now, what you do is select everything from cash flow from operation to EOP cash and copy that entire column so that we'll put the formula to all the years. And starting from year 0 to year 4, select everything and paste. Yeah. So, once you put up all the in between formulae, the subtotal number, just select all the cells, copy, so that you don't have to do one formula at a time. You can just copy all of them and then just select cash flow from operation from 0 to 4 and paste. Formula will get applied to all the years. Now you try to complete the yellow marked number. Add depreciation, change in gross asset, change in debt and equity. How are you going to do it? Refer back to file number 5. This is going to be our standard reference till the time you don't start remembering it. So certain items will come from the other pages. Whatever comes from income statement goes as a direct entry. Whatever comes from balance sheet, if it is asset, old minus new. If it is liability, new minus old. And what you need to tell me is how much is the cash? No, is the balance sheet getting balanced? That means row number 54, where we have said checksum, will become a dash for all the years, which means your double entries are correct. If it becomes a dash, it means that your double entries are correct. Okay, balance sheet is balancing. All years, checksum is 0. Good. Just make those entries. So it the idea is to make it a process. Okay. So that once you have this basic process at hand, then you can spend more time on the revenue analysis, cost analysis, understanding about the sector, understanding about the project. So we are going to practice this in 2, 3 more cases. Yes, for 1 to 4, 0 year it will be positive. That is when we raise the debt, it will be positive, and when we repaid in the remaining years, it will be negative. Correct, 0 year पे, correct. Because तभी हमने पैसा रेज किया इक्विटी में से, बाकी years के लिए it is. We can, but then you will have to think. Any other line item, you will always have to think कि इस business में क्या होगा. If you make it a process, new minus old, then you don't have to think. हर बार आपको line item के बारे में सोचना नहीं पड़ेगा. Just do new minus old and you will be done. Same for debt. Correct. Yeah, you have to link it from balance sheet, but as a difference entry. Correct. Okay, I will also do it on screen. We'll do it for year 1, then we'll copy the formula for all the years. PAT will come from the income statement is equal to PAT, and same happens with depreciation. So PAT and depreciation being picked up from the income statement directly. Then fixed asset gross, we will take it from balance sheet, but fixed asset gross is coming from the balance sheet into the cash flow, but it's an asset. So the rule will be A0 minus A1. Last year's fixed asset gross minus current year's fixed asset gross. So that's how the formula would look like for year 1. And then it is going to show a dash because there is no asset addition in year 1. Asset got added in the 0th year. So once we copy this to 0 year, the values will be there. But just link and click so that automatically numbers get picked up. Debt and equity are liabilities. So our sources of funds, so we'll do it current minus previous. And as soon as you do that, you will see the balance sheet has got balance for year 1. Here's the formula for change in debt. And you can copy the same below to get the change in equity. Okay. And then again the same, start from PAT to EOP cash. Then copy paste it for all the 4 years. Balance sheet will balance 29 lakh, 39 lakh, 39,882 is the cash balance in the end.
So what is the formula for change in equity?
Change in equity, same as change in debt, current year minus last year.
Okay, sir.
E51 minus D51. So that it will show number only in year 0 when you raised equity 18,75,000. For other years it will be nil. Yeah, BOP is same as last EOP. And EOP is BOP plus net pay. Correct. EOP is BOP plus net pay. Opening balance plus change. Okay. Is the balance sheet balancing? Everybody, students online, balance sheet has balanced.
Yes, sir.
Correct. Now, now that we have the cash flow statement, we can proceed ahead and find the IRR, FCFA and IRR. But statements are not complete yet. For example, if you go to the income statement, there is one line item left, which is the other income. Okay, so let's try to build a case for other income. Come to the cash flow, and you will see that by the end of the first year, business has 7 lakhs surplus, which increased to 15, 23, and 29 lakhs in the respective year. What are we doing with this money? In a business, what will you do with this money otherwise? क्या करोगे इस पैसे का? Correct, you will reinvest it. For example, purchase of a bus needs only 1875 of your own money. Remaining comes in the form of debt. So you can buy a second bus in year 3. Correct? And that is how continuity of business will come in. That is why a business becomes going concern. फिर वो दूसरा बस जो है वो अगले 4 साल चलेगा, फिर आप तीसरा बस खरीदोगे, चौथा खरीदोगे, तो धंधा चलते रहेगा. Here we are not assuming a new bus being purchased, but we are at least going to say that this money you will keep in FD. कुछ नहीं तो आप ये पैसा FD में रखोगे. This is what the treasury department of a company has to do. Any surplus cash has to generate some nominal income by not taking too much risk. Okay. That depends upon the IPS of the company. But you will at least put this money in FD. FD करेंगे तो interest income आएगा, वो प्री टैक्स है. बट वो FD कमाना हमारा मेन ऑब्जेक्टिव नहीं है. Our business is to sell tickets, but you might also end up getting some income, and that is what we are calling as other income. So now let's go back to the income statement and find the other income. This is a standard thing. Every time you will have to consider that for any case. Now we will say that opening cash जो है हमारे पास वो हमने FD में डाल दिया और उसके ऊपर हमें उस ईयर में इंटरेस्ट मिल गया. क्लोजिंग कैश तो साल के एंड में आने वाली है, उस पर इंटरेस्ट एक्रू होने के लिए अगला साल आएगा. That's why we are taking opening cash, which is a conservative assumption. So opening cash into interest income rate, which is given in cell N8, and fix the rate. Here is the formula on screen for reference for the other. Other income is DOP cash for the given year into interest income rate given in cell N8 and fix the rate. Same formula. H72 into N8. Dollar sign to N8. That's all what we need. So the last number is 1,13,951. But in spite of adding the other income, you will see PAT has not changed. PAT पहले भी 399 ही था, अभी भी वही है. That is because other income is not getting accounted for. If you look at the gross profit formula, we have put sale minus cost. उस टाइम हमने other income निकाला ही नहीं था. Therefore we kept it blank. Now we want to add back the other income, so that the profit number will start accounting for other income. And then drag. Okay, whenever you write a formula, remember to drag it. Last PAT is now revised to 4,78,000. In fact, the other income also has increased from 1,13,000 to 1,17,000 in the last. Cost of revenue was sum of all the expenses. You should not consider other income in that. Yeah, just sum of all the expenses. So now we have the final pattern, 4,78,000. Gross profit is revenue minus cost of revenue plus other. Okay. Last pat is 4,78,000. Correct. Now you can proceed ahead and calculate the FCFE and find the IRR. Okay, so what you do is you find all these numbers, you take all these numbers from cash flow statement. Okay. And then for FCFE, the formula would be just adding it all. Cost of equity is given in cell H10. Tell me the NPV and IRR. आप ये ऊपर से लिंक कर लो कैश फ्लो से, तो उसमें साइन ऑलरेडी है प्लस माइनस. Therefore, FCFE will be just sum of all these. Cost of equity is given in H10. How much is the NPV and the IRR of the project? So now it becomes an example similar to that gold वाला example. एक लाइन में कैश फ्लो आ गया, अब IRR NPV बस आपको निकालना है. Yeah, FCFE is linked above. Correct. Yeah, take it from above. Correct. 83 row. What dummy entry? NPV. Okay. NPV कितना? NPV IRR. Which one? How to find NPV? You are saying? वो किया था ना हमने फर्स्ट या सेकंड क्लास सेकंड सेशन में. आई थिंक एनपीवी का फॉर्मूला कैसे डालना है एक्सेल में. कुछ गड़बड़ है. वो अपने आप माइनस आ गया होगा. इट मस्ट हैव ऑलरेडी कम आउट टू बी नेगेटिव. नहीं, नेगेटिव आ रहा है एनपीवी. Find IRR first. IRR is easier. How much is the IRR? Students online. Any answers? IRR. Hmm? There you put the minus there. Correct. You need to plus it there. Correct. So how much is revised value now? Yeah. How much is IRR? नम आ रहा है, ओके नम एरर आ रहा है, तो एफसीएफई में कुछ गड़बड़ है फिर. लेट्स डू इट फ्रॉम 0 ईयर. वी लिंक एवरीथिंग फ्रॉम इन कैश फ्लो स्टेटमेंट. नेट इनकम, डेप्रिसिएशन, चेंज इन एसेट, चेंज इन डेट. इज दिस नंबर मैचिंग? And the sign? Sign has to be negative for the first 0 year cash. 18,75,000 हमने इन्वेस्ट किया था एज अ प्रमोटर. थ्री? नो, नहीं नहीं कुछ गड़बड़ है. एफसीएफई चेक करो आप, बराबर है क्या? इज द एफसीएफई फॉर ऑल ईयर्स मैचिंग? All we have done is just linked everything from the statement. So calculating FCFE and therefore IRR becomes a very mechanical step if you have done the above steps correct. ऊपर आपने 0 ईयर के लिए बैलेंस शीट और कैश फ्लो बनाया है क्या? अगर नहीं बनाया है तो यहाँ गड़बड़ होगी. So you just copy all the year 1 formulae of cash flow and balance sheet and paste it into year 0. $2,93,000 कुछ गड़बड़ है. इट्स कम क्लोज. अब बराबर आ रहा है, आपका आईआरआर बराबर आ जाएगा. एनपीवी का फॉर्मूला में गड़बड़ किया आपने. फर्स्ट ईयर 1 की 0, year 0 you are not getting minus 18 lakh. बेसिकली ईयर 0 इज शोइंग कि हमने बस खरीदा 18,75,000 देके. हाउ मच यू आर गेटिंग? करेक्ट. दैट्स द आंसर. आईआरआर इज करेक्ट. एनपीवी में आपने सिर्फ वो फॉर्मूला में थोड़ा गड़बड़ किया है व्हाइल यू आर पुटिंग द फॉर्मूला. जीरो. नहीं नहीं नहीं, दैट इज नॉट करेक्ट. एफसीएफई का पहला नंबर -18,75,000 आया क्या? प्लस आया. IRR, now it is correct. Correct. IRR is correct. So once you have these cash flows, calculating IRR is pretty straightforward. You just do IRR, open the bracket and select the range. 23.76 is the IRR. How about the NPV? So for NPV, first thing it asks for is rate, then it says value 1, means cash flow at which year end? 1. Correct. So you start from 1 to last, bracket close, add back the 0th year cash flow. 3,39,000 therefore is the NPV value. 3,39,000 positive. Correct. So our comment will be accept the project as NPV is more than 0 or accept the project as IRR is more than cost of P. Done. Here is the NPV formula open on screen for reference. Everybody check, online students check if you got the same values. Okay, done. So let's take a break here, and then we will continue with the sensitivity table, and then we start with the next case, which is on project 5. So let's start in 5 minutes time. Everybody, online students, see if you have got the values. If you have any doubts, let me know. In the meantime, I will share the next file with all of you. Okay, we continue. So first, what we'll do is we'll have a look at a couple of sensitivities, and one we have financing and other operational. Okay. So financing sensitivity is similar to what we did last time. We have percentage funding in the form of debt and interest rate on the other side. And we want to see, is the project still feasible if my sources of financing are changing. Okay. So first step we will do is we link the left corner cell to the IRR. Left corner cell will be to the IRR. Then so I will show this sensitivity. Then you try the next. Okay. Second step is select the entire range from the left corner cell to where the row ends to where the column ends. Then go to data, what if analysis, data table, data what if analysis, data table. In the row and the column, in the row we have percentage financing in the form of debt, and in the column we have interest rate. So we will go back to our main assumptions here. Percentage financing in the form of debt is cell H6, and in the column we have interest rate, which is cell H8. So basically we are creating a one-to-one mapping between what we have taken in the row and column of the table versus what are the assumptions taken in the model. Say okay, and these are all your answers. I have already applied a conditional formatting there. Anything that is less than cost of capital, which is 15%, is already shown in red. So project is not feasible in all those red marked numbers, which basically goes to show that for the project to remain feasible, you should at least take 50% debt to finance, and the rate of interest should be less than 12. So we will have to check. If you have a different set of numbers here, let me see. Your formula above must have been slightly different. Yeah. What numbers we have? Wait, wait. H, no, no, wait. मेरे आपने input किया लिया. H6 और H8 लेना है. H8. Yeah, H8 is the interest rate. नहीं ऐसे change नहीं होगा. You have to do. You will have to follow the steps again. Start with selecting the entire range from the left corner cell. पूरा रेंज सिलेक्ट कर लीजिए, फिर गो टू डेटा व्हाट इफ एनालिसिस डेटा टेबल, डेटा व्हाट इफ एनालिसिस डेटा टेबल, then H6 and H8. Correct. Now similarly try to build the second sensitivity table, which is trying to compare fuel economy with load factor. So this is the operational sensitivity. Same for IRR, again we will find different answers even after taking H8. The second one you are saying, no, the first one नंबर कितना अलग आ रहा है कि आपका 27 सेम ही तो आ रहा है हमारा भी. ओके स्क्रॉल अप, इनकम स्टेटमेंट में चलिए आप और टैक्स पे एक बार डबल क्लिक यूज. यस इफ इट इज, हाँ इफ तो यूज किया है आपने. ओके सो सबमिट करना है. So when, so you will generally get different answers in case some formula somewhere is not matching. 9 and we are getting 13. H6 H8 ये बराबर लिया आपका. इधर फॉर्मूला है. H6
Sir, I am also getting different answer.
Okay, we'll check. We will have to go through the formula once to see if your numbers are not matching. I think did we take the if condition?
this is to just see all the formula together in case some inconsistency of formula has happened anywhere. We will discuss it. No. So have you used this condition or have I used this condition? Sorry, where different if condition? How is it? Okay, press. Okay, let's see what is different in your if condition. Same ही होगा ना? If this, then correct. बराबर है. Correct. Plus minus 2 KR. Okay, we'll check. So your answer and mine is matching, right? ठीक है. तो कौन सा मैच नहीं हो रहा है हमारा 10 और 8. ठीक है. Let's change the percentage back to 10. Let's set to 8. Can you also do the same? Percentage set to 10 and interest rate to 8. Correct. And you tell me PAT for year 4 is how much? 5,41,000. तो यहाँ अभी अभी इसमें समझ में आएगा कि चेंज कहाँ है. फर्स्ट आंसर मैच हो रहा है क्या नहीं हो रहा. ठीक है. ठीक है. Details, ठीक है. ये अच्छा यहाँ पे फॉर्मूला में गड़बड़ है. आप रुकिए. Here you took BOP, right? No, you took EOP. Okay. Here, why are you getting a mismatch here? 58, 75. Yeah, correct. Here you made a mistake. See here, B51 euro, which is uh, equity, but equity you wrote as this plus cash. क्यों? यहाँ इक्विटी का फॉर्मूला ये 25% देखिए आपने हाथ से लिखा होगा. In the second formula, you put 25% manually. That's why when the percentage is changing in the table, वो change नहीं हो रहा उधर. तो ये हो गया into of value of the. तो अब क्या होगा ये 90%. ये जहाँ पे जो भी नंबर है यहाँ पे वो वहाँ आ जाएगा. हाँ ये नंबर ठीक है. अभी आपका टेबल मैच करा होगा मेरे साथ. नहीं 10 था. Correct. Yes. So anywhere, if you have one formula that is going different, then in the table the numbers will change. Yes. Online. So answer, which answer is not matching? Here, cell M82. How much you are getting? Online students.
Oh, sir, actually I was getting 23.1% in the full table.
Okay. Acha. So have you linked this is equal to D93? The left
Yes,
corner.
sir.
Okay. And inputs are same, right? D H6 and H8.
Yes, sir.
Okay. But still answer is 23 everywhere.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what must have happened is in the acha, I can also see your system, right? Instead of me guessing, can you present? Have stopped presenting.
Yes, sir. I can present. I tried a different formula in this table. Now the whole table is coming 0%. So I think I'll take help from someone else. It will take
Ah,
time.
you can just share the screen and then we will try to see if the yeah.
Okay, sir. I'll share the screen. Just a second.
You go back to the earlier set of numbers. वो assumption change किया ना अपने ऊपर.
1 second, sir.
हाँ, हाँ.
13 हो गया. नहीं, have you changed both? 70, 10. Rate of interest is 10. Yeah. Can you see that sharing option on your
So are
Google?
you talking to me?
Sorry. Yeah,
Are
I'm
you
talking to you. Sorry. In
okay?
between,
Okay.
I was.
Okay. Just a
Yeah,
second.
I'm talking. Can you present your file?
Just a second, sir.
Yeah,
Uh,
correct.
yeah. So you see the screen
So
actually.
yeah,
This happened.
so can file is not visible yet. No, row है वो. Correct. Yeah. You click on that Excel file? I am not able to see the Excel here. It is still showing the Google Meet
Oh,
window only.
can you see the Excel, sir, now?
No, I think my
Oh,
I
one
don't know
second,
about
sir.
the internet. Now, yeah. Just we had got the Excel, but gone. The presentation I stopped. Right. Okay, so it is showing 0. Right. Oh, okay. Wait. Uh, so what happened is when you try to do the table the second time, the cell selection went wrong. Okay. So now what you will have to do is first you uh, delete all these numbers. Select the entire thing and delete. Yeah. नहीं वो ऊपर पूरा ही उन्होंने शायद वो ब्लू से सिलेक्ट किया टेबल इसलिए वो गड़बड़ हो गया. ठीक है. नाउ इन द रो इन सेल M81 next one. You put the numbers as I am saying. 10%, 25%, 40%, 55%, 75%. When 25, 40, 55, 75. And in L81, sorry, L82, you put 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13%. Now left corner is equal to that cell, is equal to IRR, which is 23.76, that cell we have. Correct. That's it. Now you select the entire range from that cell to 24% पे. Correct. Fully. Then data, what is analysis data table? H6 the row input and H8 the column input. Correct. Okay, done. So we are getting all numbers 23%. Done. So scroll up to the date schedule. Scroll up to the date schedule. Let me check one formula and click on date schedule. L little lower, further down. Wait. Here EOP data. That is L46. Okay. And then M43. and M45. Okay, go to file, file on top. There's an option called file option. In more, you will get them. The more last option. Then you go to formulas. Oh, it's automatic already. Okay, okay. Done. So this is not a problem. So we'll have to investigate some formula error. Can you go to a D93, the IRR value? And D89, is there a number there? Yeah, here is the mistake. So here you calculated the FCFE in D83, right? Come to D83. Here you have a formula, and then what you did was you took these numbers and you pasted them in D89. But we need to link them. We put a formula in D89 is equal to.
Sir, so I should put
No,
the
no, in
formula.
D89. Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Correct, correct, yes. So that whenever you make a change in the input, all these numbers will also change. Is equal to D89. No, not the sum. Just take it from, sorry, D83 se le lo na. Remove that sum function is equal, just write is equal to D83. That's it. 3. Correct. That's it. Drag. So all numbers will tell.
Thank you, sir.
Correct. Okay. Thank you. So I will share my screen again. Here it is. So yeah, you try the second sensitivity table. Okay, I was correct. You should get some errors in that. If you are getting errors, it is correct. So let's do it here on screen. We want to understand what those errors mean. So step 1 again is left corner to be linked to IRR. Left corner cell to be linked to IRR. Then you select the entire range, starting from left corner cell to where the row ends, to where the column ends. Then data, what if analysis data table. What's there in the row? We have fuel efficiency, and in the column, load factor. So row is fuel efficiency, cell number H14, and column is load factor, cell number D15. Okay. So here are the inputs for the second sensitivity table, H14 and D15. So we have to read it as row of the table and column of the table. डेटा कैसा है, टेबल की रो में क्या है और टेबल की कॉलम में क्या है. Say okay, and these are the answers that you are getting. Correct. So now we want to understand positive, negative, IRR and num. Okay. So let's try to see what Excel is telling us here, and I'm going to take a different example to explain all three. Let us say I have a project where I am putting 100 rupees and I am getting 50 over the next 3 years. My cost of capital is 13%. I am getting a decent IRR of 23%. So this is just an example to explain the plus minus numbers. Okay. So what you can see here is it's a good project because ये 100 rupees आप कहीं और डालेंगे तो आपको 15% रिटर्न मिल रहा है. Whereas if you put the money here, you are getting 23%. So for us, the project is accepted. Now instead of say having a cash flow of 50 at the end, if let's say you are getting a cash flow of 20 at the end, then the IRR has come down to 11. So you will reject the project. Okay. What if this cash flow is 0? Then how much return have you got? 0%. Because you invested 100 and you received 100 rupees back. What if this cash flow is also 0? Then now what has happened is principal में erosion हो रहा है. You have put 100 rupees in the project expecting that you will get your 100 back and you will get some more. And is that some more higher than your cost of equity? That was our decision. अब क्या हो गया? 100 रुपया डाला और मुद्दल में नुकसान हो गया. So when I am losing money from my principal, I am in a negative IRR territory. Okay. Now let me take this number as almost zero. मतलब 100 रुपया डाला और 1 पैसा मिला, मतलब जीरो मिला, तो -100% IRR हो गया. मीन्स पूरा का पूरा प्रिंसिपल गया. बट इससे और क्या हो सकता है? ये भी तो हो सकता है. What does this mean? It means that you put 100 rupees, you invested in a business expecting to get something, but कुछ मिलने के जगह पे बिजनेस चालू रखने के लिए जेब से आपको और पैसे डालने पड़ते हैं. So this scenario cannot be said as -100%, right? -100% means क्या? मुद्दल जितना डाला वो सारा गया. अगर मुद्दल से ज्यादा पैसे गए तो वो ना. So all three scenarios here or these scenarios here are showing that you are losing more than 100% of your capital. Okay, which basically goes to show us the critical impact these parameters have on the final outcome. So now if I am a manager of this business, then I know that I have to maintain my bus properly. Otherwise 50% occupancy पे बस का फ्यूल इकोनॉमी भी गिर गया तो भी बिजनेस -100% के नीचे है. And second, I have to maintain my occupancy rate. If my occupancy rate goes down by 5%, then even if my bus efficiency is maintained, I'm still going to lose my capital and some. Okay. So the variation in the business or in the IRR or in the return is significant. Okay. So these parameters that we are looking at are having a critical or having significant impact on the operations of it. So apart from figuring out whether the business is feasible or not, it also helps us understand the criticalness of the variable. Okay. So as a manager, as a promoter, what I have to keep track of while operating this business, so you can identify key variables using the model. So that is one. Okay. So this was the entire idea of why the second sensitivity table was ordered. The answers are matching, everyone. So even if, for example, if I make a different formula anywhere, for example, instead of this, I put directly the formula of this. All answers here will be same. If नहीं डाला है मैंने वहाँ. So, but you will see my numbers here are now not matching with yours. Because in years when I have a negative IRR, definitely the PBT will be negative. In my model, because I have not put the if condition, it will be showing minus tax. Therefore, my PAT will be slightly higher. So, wherever I am getting -15, you will be getting even a smaller number than that. Correct? आपको इससे कम नंबर्स आ रहे होंगे, मुझे ज्यादा नंबर्स आ रहे हैं. मतलब -23 कुछ आ रहा होगा आप. हाँ, करेक्ट, क्योंकि लॉस आपका ज्यादा हो रहा है क्योंकि टैक्स में 0 दिख रहा है और मेरा मॉडल टैक्स माइनस कंसिडर कर रहा है. तो माइनस ऑफ माइनस प्लस हो रहा है. दैट्स व्हाई. So the data table will start showing difference in value um, if we make any error, okay, in the formula. Okay, so this is a complete example of how the models we would ideally want to make. Okay. So everything here onwards we are going to make in the same format: income, balance sheet, cash flow, then find the FCFE and get the IRR. Okay, students online, have you got the second sensitivity table in similar format?
Yes, sir.
Correct. Done. So let's move on to another case which I have shared with you in the mail. Everybody just see if you have the 7 number file. Acha, you will need it in the pen drive. Okay. I'll give it to you in the pen drive. Take the file. In the meantime, I am explaining the basic part. So it's a case on project financing which we want to build. Okay. Project financing case. Yeah, thank you. So let me explain here first. Okay. Now, in the case that we did just now, we said that our cash flows were looking something like this. Correct. बस खरीदा हमने, पैसा गया. Promoter point of view. And then we started operating the business and then we started getting consistent. But this is too simplistic. When you are setting up a factory, setting up a national highway, it's going to take your time to build the factory. 3 साल लगेंगे फैक्ट्री बनाने में और उसमें फैक्ट्री ऑपरेट तो होगा नहीं. So you are not going to get any money, but you will further have to invest. So there are going to be some challenges while you are developing the factory. Okay. That is what we want to understand in development finance. Okay. Rest model is going to be similar. After the factory is complete, then you will operate the factory, you will get the revenues, cost, profit, so on and so forth. How to analyze the operations phase of a business, we have seen that in the first part. But where this case is different is in terms of the first part, which is investing, and therefore what is the cost associated. So, and this is where project financing is different than any other general bank loan. So the second case that we want to build is a project financing. Now, in a project, generally two teams will operate together. One is technical team and other is the finance. Technical team will define what is the land required, what is the construction needed, कौन सा type का machinery चाहिए, कितना cost है उसका, सारा आपको technical team बताएगा. But what it will not tell you is how to fund it. Okay, that is what the financing team has to come. So whatever cost of the project, it is estimated by the technical team. As a financing team, we will take that cost on face. जो cost उन्होंने बताया हम वो consider. And therefore that cost we will call as hard cost. Hard in the sense inflexible. I cannot change that. So technical team cost will be my hard cost. But because of the funding mix that we decide, there are going to be some financing costs also. And those financing costs will change based on our change of the funding decision. So we call them soft costs, which means flexible. Based on our understanding, we can change. So total cost of the project is going to be combination of hard cost and soft cost. That is actual physical cost of setting up the factory and to the financing cost added on. So first objective of a project financing model is finding total sales. While we did the previous example, this problem was not there. आपने बस खरीदा और immediately धंधा चालू हुआ. तो फाइनेंसिंग की डायरेक्ट कोई कॉस्ट नहीं. जो भी कॉस्ट है वो आपके ऑपरेशंस में इंटरेस्ट ऐड हो रहा है और अकॉर्डिंगली यू आर पेइंग इट. But when you are doing project financing, the first thing is to figure out total cost of setup of project kitna. So this is estimated in the development schedule. That is what we are going to build. Now let me explain what is this soft cost that I am trying to say. The soft cost जो कह रहा हूँ वो है क्या? So let's try to see it here. So let us assume we are looking at a project which will be built in 3 years for a total hard cost of 300 rupees with a debt equity 1 and interest rate of 10%, and we are funding one third project every year. 33% of the factory is getting made each year. 100% will get made by the end of 3 years. So out of 300 rupees hard cost, one third, that is 100 rupees, will be expended in the first. 100 रुपये की factory हम first year में बनाएंगे. Now, if I want to make the factory of one third factory in the first year, when should I raise the fund? At the start of the year or end of the year? Start of the year. And how am I going to raise the fund? Using debt equity ratio 1. So my balance sheet at time t is equal to 0 looks something like this. We took debt of 50, equity of 50. We have cash of 50. At the end of year, this cash will get used and fixed asset of 100 rupees will get created. Equity जितना है उतना. Now the problem is with the bank. Bank is saying 50 रुपये आपने एक साल के लिए यूज किए, 10% पे 5 रुपया इंटरेस्ट दो. Now where will we pay the interest from? This becomes a challenge. And this is a typical issue with any project financing case because the bank is not going to exempt any interest during your construction period. So what happens is the bank says that okay fine, we know that you don't have money because आपने जो proposal submit किया है उसमें you are going to get some revenue from year 4 on. चौथे साल से आपकी फैक्ट्री चालू होगी तो कुछ पैसे हैं. So what we will do is we will consider that we gave you additional 5 rupees loan which you paid as interest back to us. So actual cash is not exchanging hands. बैंक ने आपको 50 रुपये का लोन दिया था पहले, फिर आपने 5 रुपये का इंटरेस्ट नहीं दिया तो बैंक ने उसका भी आपको लोन दिया. So now what has happened is on your book the debt is appearing to be 55, equity is still 50, liabilities are 100, but asset is 100. So the matching entry is soft cost, or accounting calls it as interest which is capitalized. Either you show it as an expense or you show it as an asset in the balance. So we will show it as an asset in the balance sheet. And this is so what is soft cost? Therefore, soft cost is nothing but the interest that is getting accrued during the construction period. कंस्ट्रक्शन पीरियड में जो भी इंटरेस्ट आएगा 1 साल 2 साल 3 साल, वो सारा इंटरेस्ट आपको बैंक में दे देगा. तो उतने से आप अपने फैक्ट्री की कॉस्ट बढ़ा देते हैं. So that is not a physical amount, but you will still show it as a part of your fixed. Okay. So banks call it with a simple name, interest during construction. And project finance may we use the word soft cost. And accounting calls it as capitalized interest, which means interest shown in the asset side of the balance. So like this, your fixed assets will now, your total assets will match with the liability 105 because you have shown 5 rupees of soft cost. Next year, something similar will happen. Interest on interest will get accrued. So you might have some other value. So by the end of the year, it might so appear as if your soft cost went from, so we had soft cost of 5, 12 and 18, let's say. They are just dummy numbers. We'll calculate them properly in the case at hand. So total soft cost might be 35, hard cost is 300, project cost is 3. So first thing that you want to know in any given model is what is the setup cost and where is the money coming from. Okay. ये कितना पैसा हमें फैक्ट्री लगाने के लिए चाहिए लगेगा और वो कहाँ से आता है. Like it was the case with the bus, we said 75 lakhs का बस खरीदेंगे और फिर operations चालू होगा. Similarly for factory. So estimating soft cost will be done. So let's estimate the soft cost here in the current case. But before that, everybody is the concept of soft cost clear? Students online, soft cost आपको समझ में आ गया क्या? Nothing but the interest during the construction period. So we want to estimate that interest now. Okay. So everybody come to the case model. What do we have? We have a case where we want to set up a factory with 25 lakhs invest. Hard cost of the factory is 25 lakhs है, and factory will be built as 25% in the first year, 50 in the second, and 25 in the third. Phasing schedule is 25, 50, 25. You will fund it from 40% from equity and 60% in debt, and debt will be available at 12% rate of. Now, what we want to do is we want to estimate what is the total fixed asset, that is total cost of the factory as a step 1. फैक्ट्री बनाने का full cost कितना है वो हमें निकालना. So we will build it together. Remaining model is similar. You have assumptions, then income statement, balance sheet, cash flow, and IR. Okay. So remaining model is very similar to what we did in the first. Okay. But the first part is slightly different, so we will do it together. So let us start with hard cost. Everybody, first find find the hard cost for each year as shown. %25 of 25 lakhs is what we are expending in year one. Okay. Then total project cost will be combination of hard cost and soft cost. We are going to calculate the soft cost in row number 22. Right now we have not estimated that. Link can see so that you get the total project cost. Copy that for year up to year 3. And total project cost for the period is showing how much worth of factory we are making in a given year. But the factory will be my asset, and asset is always cumulative. आज तक कितना factory बना? That is what fixed asset gross is trying to ask. So last year जितना बना है plus amount of asset added into that. Okay. Fixed assets is last year's fixed asset plus amount of factory built in the current. तो क्यूमुलेटिव कितना हो गया फैक्ट्री का कॉस्ट वो आ जाएगा. करेक्ट. नाउ यू विल सी ऑल नंबर्स आर लुकिंग सिमिलर बिकॉज सॉफ्ट कॉस्ट अभी निकाला ही नहीं है. So hard cost, fixed asset and project cost for the period of same. But how much money will you need to raise in the first year will be defined by project cost for the period. कितने पैसे की फैक्ट्री आप इस ईयर में बना रहे हो तो 6,25,000 shown in the green set. तो वो पैसे हमें रेज करने पड़ेंगे. 40% of that money is going to come from equity. So just check you are taking it from cell number 310. 40% is coming in the form of equity and 60% is coming in the form of same B10 सेल का ही लेना है आपको. So it is going to correct. So right now interest capitalized is not calculated, so we will do that. Okay, debt and equity we have got. But what is this? This is the amount of money we will need to raise in the form of equity and debt. So आज तक कितना equity raise? So now you will see later you will be making the balance sheet. Balance sheet में आपको लगेगा equity capital, debt, fixed asset. So already all of that is getting estimated in the development. तो इसमें बैलेंस शीट बनाने में आपको बहुत आसान हो जाएगा क्योंकि आपने ऑलरेडी वो एस्टिमेट कर लिया है. Last year's equity plus amount of equity raised current year. Okay. Got it? Then before calculation, we will do the date calculation. So to date schedule, opening balance is same as previous closing. Opening balance is same as previous closing. Then additions is amount of debt added in the current period. Amount of debt added in the current period. Okay, and closing balance is opening plus addition. Then we drag it till the end. Opening closing balance is opening plus addition. So basic numbers look correct. 25 lakhs is the factory cost. 40% of 25 lakhs is 10 lakhs is equity. Remaining 15 lakhs is debt, which is 60% of 25 lakhs. So वो सारे number basic tally हो रहे हैं. Now we will try to calculate the interest. Now the question is, when will we raise the debt? Start of the year ki end of the year? Start of the year. That means first year में 3,75,000 is getting raised at the start. तो हमें इंटरेस्ट 3,75,000 पे और ओपनिंग पे देना पड़ेगा. दैट मीन्स ओपनिंग प्लस एडिशन. बट ओपनिंग प्लस एडिशन इज नथिंग बट क्लोजिंग. So we'll pay the interest on closing. Rate of interest fixed, and then you will get an error. Have you got an error? Formula is P22. Okay, let's see. Yeah. So what has happened is solution is already linked there in your case. So come to file. Those who have the error, wait. Those who don't have it, come to file, go to options. This dialog box will open up. File में, options में, then go to formula. Either right hand side में it is written enable iterative calculation. ये आपका टिक मार्क होगा, तो अनटिक कर दो. And then say okay, error will come. Correct. So we'll see why this is or what this is, and then what is the use of this. Has the error come? So let's quickly discuss this and then we will close. मतलब ये complete कर लेते हैं discussion. हाँ, but error आ गया क्या? नहीं, हाँ, it shows dash. हाँ, let it be. ये फॉर्मूला आप ड्रैग कर लो तो सब जगह डैश 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 आ जाएगा. ठीक है, तो एरर आ गया आप. डैश डैश आ गया. ठीक है. So what we are witnessing right now is called as a circular reference error. Okay. So let's see what is the circular reference error. I'll explain the error and then we will see what is the solution for it. For example, let's say I put a formula S is equal to below cell, and then in below cell I put a formula is equal to above cell. Excel can't stop me from doing that, but it gives me a warning that what you have done is circular reference. So basically, cell is connecting to itself. Cell खुद ही को connect कर रहा है. Such kind of problem is referred in Excel as circular reference error. Whenever you have a problem like this, answer will always be shown 0 and left corner में लिखेगा Excel कि circular reference हो गया है. You may or may not get that blue line. वो थोड़ा inconsistent. ठीक है. So why is it happening in our case? So logical mistake is basically what circular reference error tries to identify. So this is what has happened. Total project cost is hard cost plus soft cost, where soft cost was interest. इसके बेसिस पे हमने निकाला डेट और डेट के बेसिस पे हमने निकाला इंटरेस्ट and then we took that interest back into the total cost. So it is like A connecting to B, B connecting to C, and C going back to A. तो वो सर्कुलर रेफरेंस हो गया है, वो एक्सेल वो ब्लू डॉट से दिखा रहा है कि ये 4-5 सेल एक दूसरे के साथ मिक्स हो गए. ठीक है, तो अभी logic cannot be changed because that's how it is going to happen. You are going to take the debt at the start of the year, you will have to pay the interest on the closing date. So how to resolve such a error? Now to explain it, let me take the previous example which we discussed. ये एग्जाम्पल में भी सर्कुलर रेफरेंस एरर होता है. अगर मैं कहता कि 100 रुपीज हमारा सॉफ्ट कॉस्ट हार्ड कॉस्ट है, 50-50 डेट इक्विटी है और 10% का इंटरेस्ट. So here we have done the same thing. So the solution to circular reference error lies in iteration. What is iteration? Repeating the same calculation again and again and you get the correct answer. That is what math says. So how does it work? Let's try to see it here. First time I am doing the calculation, I am considering total cost as same as hard cost. मुझे नहीं पता सॉफ्ट कॉस्ट कितनी है, तो मैं कंसिडर कर रहा हूँ सॉफ्ट कॉस्ट को 0, मतलब इंटरेस्ट को 0. इस पे 50% डेट मीन्स 50 रुपीज डेट, उस पे 5% इंटरेस्ट. So 5 rupees is my interest, whereas the considered interest is 0. So my model is having a mistake. Now if I link it here, अगर मैं यहाँ link कर देता हूँ is equal to this, then you will see circular reference error will come. So now my model has the same error which our basic case has. जो आपको error आया वही मुझे इसमें भी आया. So you cannot do that. So what you do is you do the same calculation again second time. This time you take the interest from the first calculation. So what has happened? Project cost has become 105, debt has become 52.5, interest हो गया 5.25. Again there is a error. हमने consider किया है 5, आंसर आया है 5%. But you will see between first and second calculation, error has gone down. So let us do it for third time, and the error goes down further. So like this, we will keep on repeating this till a point that error becomes 0, exact 0. Now what is the way of showing exact 0 in Excel? For example, I have perfect 0 and 0 with some decimal value. So when I change these two numbers to comma style, perfect 0 is shown as dash and any decimal error is shown as 0.00. So here when I repeat this, so I have already put the comma style here. I repeat this up to 13th iteration, and you will see that in the 13th iteration, the error has become dash, which basically means the calculated value of interest and the considered value of interest is same. So project cost in the previous case was not 105, it was 105.263157, so on so forth. Okay. So iterations therefore basically helps you get the solution to circular error. Now we need that here because logic cannot be compromised. So how do we? So in Excel, what they have done is they have made a simple tool for iteration. Okay. So now let's go back to file. So we will just get the tool working for us. File, then go to options, and in this dialog box go to formulas and tick mark the option enable iterative calculation. So Excel will by itself start doing the iteration. Excel खुद ही iteration करके आपको आंसर दे देगा. All answers will change. Your final number that you are looking for, which is fixed asset for year 3, is 29 lakh 7. उसमें 25 लाख क्या है? हार्ड कॉस्ट और 4,07,000 क्या है? सॉफ्ट कॉस्ट, which you can also find by adding these three numbers. If you add all the three interest values, it will come to the same 4,07,000. So 4 lakh plus 25 lakh is equal to 29 lakh. Total project cost estimate is that. So first level output of the model is that case was to find project cost. Now, anytime whenever you are building a project financing model, you will always have this problem. Okay. That is why the idea was to simulate the issue and show you how to resolve. Now, remaining case is about operations phase. So we'll do this next time. Everybody check if you have got the project cost as 29 lakh 7,034 in cell F11. Done. Any other questions? Or else we'll stop it. So idea for us was to estimate the development phase today. बाकी का मॉडल हम अगले क्लास में we will make it very similar to the project to the bus model. So what I will do is I will
Sir,
send this revised slide. Yeah,
sir, can
tell
you
me.
show
Yeah,
the capitalized interest and debt schedule again? Actually, I'm getting different
yeah.
figures.
Okay. Here is the value. So did you get the circular error?
Sir, I got in the D22 column, I got the same value as you, but in F and G, in the other columns, I'm getting blank values.
Okay. Here you have you put dollar sign to B22 cell? Just put a dollar there and drag it once. Okay. Is it matching now?
Sir, actually, I've gotten the same value in D22 cell, but in the E22 and F22, I'm getting blank when I'm dragging the formula.
D22 में आया ना आपको आंसर 48.
हाँ, D22 में सेम आंसर आया आपके जैसा, पर E22
Correct.
और F22 में नहीं आ
तो
रहा.
इधर D22 का फॉर्मूला में B22 को फिक्स किया है क्या आपने डॉलर?
हाँ सर, फिक्स किया है.
एक बार उसको ड्रैग कर लीजिए आप आगे, फिर भी डैश डैश ही आ रहा है.
हाँ सर, डैश डैश ही आ रहा है.
Okay, let's share. You share the file. You share the screen.
हाँ
Let's
सर, एक मिनट.
yes. Presenting now. Yeah.
My screen, sir.
Okay, just a minute. Yeah. Yes, screen is visible. Correct. Oh, okay. Okay. So come to you select cells D25 to 27. Select all three
D
cells.
D25 to 27.
D25 to 27. नहीं D25 to 27 नीचे नीचे. हाँ
Okay, sir.
बस अब आप इसको ड्रैग कीजिए J कॉलम तक. Correct.
Okay,
Now the
sir.
answers are matching.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Correct. Thank you. Okay, so I will share the file, the one that we have completed till here in the mail, and then we will close. Any other doubts? Everybody let me know, or else we will stop here.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, wait. Next week onwards, if we have a 3-hour class, is that fine? 9:30 to 12:30. So that by end of May or maybe first week of June, we should be done. Yeah, online students. I've already asked the offline students, but online students, if you can let me know.
Yes, sir, no problem.
3 hours will be good. 9:30 to 12:30.
Yes, sir.
Okay, perfect. So then next week we will. We'll take 2 breaks. Yeah, no problem. We'll take 2 breaks, but we'll keep the session from 9:30 to 12:30. Okay, fair enough.
Okay, sir, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you all for joining in.
Thank you, sir.
Good day. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.